The concept of brain rot, though varied in its definitions, generally refers to a state of confusion, mental fatigue, and frustration, particularly after consuming short, highly engaging content for extended periods. This sensation is not trivial, as it significantly impacts one's ability to complete future mental tasks, maintain focus, and regulate emotions. The problem is widespread in the age of social media, where constant stimulation feels nearly inescapable. Rather than advocating for a complete disconnection from social media, a solution that is rarely sustainable in the long term, this approach offers a more realistic method: learning to control devices instead of allowing them to control us. This journey begins with a personal challenge: staying focused on this reading without distractions until the end. Developing escapism awareness. The first crucial step is to develop what can be called escapism awareness. To tackle brain rot, it is essential to understand why we keep engaging with content we know negatively affects us. Although this attraction is rooted in brain chemistry, like dopamine release, the primary reason goes beyond neuroscience. The real cause of this behavior lies in the desire to escape realities that feel uncomfortable or problematic. Brain rot is not the cause of a suboptimal life, but a symptom of it. Many people set goals, such as reducing social media usage to an hour a day, believing this will resolve the problem. However, this superficial approach often fails because it does not address the root of the issue: the emotions or situations driving the need to escape. Instead, it's crucial to identify and confront the underlying causes of escapism. Identifying patterns of escapism. The key lies in observing and reflecting on moments when the urge to consume content compulsively arises. During these episodes, it's recommended to 1. Examine thoughts and emotions. What thoughts and emotions are present? Where are they physically felt in the body? 2. Reflect on recent events. What has happened during the day or week that could have triggered this state? 3. Recognize patterns. By repeating this exercise several times, clear patterns will emerge, revealing areas of life being avoided. For instance, someone might discover they tend to reach for short, stimulating content when feeling drained after a tough day. Rather than trying to quit the habit directly, it's more effective to work on improving overall life quality, such as adopting proper rest strategies or adjusting daily routines to reduce fatigue. Achieving this level of awareness is not easy and may be painful, as it requires facing problems we've been avoiding. However, it is an essential step toward initiating meaningful changes. A practical example. For the author, introspection revealed that mental exhaustion after long days was a trigger for consuming social media content. By becoming aware of this, rather than imposing strict limits on phone usage, they focused on changing daily habits to gain more energy and naturally avoid the temptation to escape. Once you've developed awareness of the escapist tendencies leading to brain rot, the next step is to actively replace those habits with more cognitively enriching activities. Escaping into mindless content is a way to avoid effortful thought and hard work. However, redirecting that time and energy toward meaningful challenges can retrain your brain to seek fulfillment through creation and learning rather than passive consumption. Pursue cognitively challenging skills. The human brain thrives on stimulation, but not all forms of stimulation are created equal. While short-form content offers instant gratification, cognitively challenging skills provide long-term satisfaction and growth. This transition is not only a solution to brain rot, but also a pathway to personal development. The role of escapism in avoiding effort. It's essential to acknowledge that escapism doesn't only apply to avoiding painful emotions or situations. It can also occur when we shy away from activities we genuinely enjoy but that require sustained mental effort. For example, the author admits they would often scroll through their phone instead of writing scripts for their videos, not because they disliked writing, but because the task demanded focus and persistence. This highlights an important distinction. Escapism can manifest even in areas of life that bring joy when those activities require us to step outside our comfort zone. For individuals accustomed to short-term dopamine hits, engaging in sustained mental effort can feel daunting. The power of neuroplasticity. The brain is remarkably adaptable, and with time and consistency, it can be trained to enjoy new forms of stimulation. By repeatedly choosing activities that demand focus and creativity, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with these behaviors. Over time, these activities will feel more natural and rewarding. To begin this shift, consider the following questions when identifying potential skills or activities to replace passive habits. 1. What energizes me after I've completed it, rather than leaving me drained? 2. When I visualize myself engaging in this task, how excited do I feel about doing it? 3. Is this activity challenging enough to push my attention span without being overwhelming? 4. What would I pursue if I knew I couldn't fail? 5. What do I enjoy that others often find tedious or overly difficult? Exploring hobbies and skills. If you're unsure where to start, life exploration is key. It's impossible to know what you love until you experiment with a variety of activities. Some examples of cognitively challenging hobbies include reading. Delve into subjects that pique your interest or challenge your perspectives. Writing. Whether journaling, creative writing, or professional blogging, writing sharpens focus and fosters emotional clarity. Exercise. Weightlifting, yoga, running, or rock climbing combine physical activity with mental discipline. Artistic pursuits. Painting, sculpting, or photography allow you to create and express yourself. Problem-solving activities. Chess, coding, or puzzles engage the brain in novel ways. The key is to choose activities that don't provide immediate rewards but instead offer long-term satisfaction and personal growth. The author's experience. For the author, video editing became a life-changing passion. Each project offered an opportunity to learn new techniques and improve by just 1%. This constant growth maintained their excitement and prevented stagnation. While the initial stages of learning any skill can be frustrating, perseverance often leads to profound satisfaction. If you're struggling to start a new pursuit because you feel unskilled, remember that this mindset is just an excuse to avoid discomfort. The hardest part of any endeavor is beginning, but tools and resources like tutorials or platforms can ease the process. A significant contributor to brain rot is the need for constant stimulation during otherwise simple tasks. Music, podcasts, and background noise can be helpful for focus and moderation, but relying on them constantly can hinder your ability to engage with the present moment. The importance of stillness. When was the last time you did something in complete silence? Many people find it difficult to perform even the simplest tasks without some form of external stimulation. This constant background noise primes the brain to crave more stimulation, making it harder to concentrate when the stimuli are removed. Meditation is an excellent antidote to this problem. Regular mindfulness practice has been shown to increase gray matter in the brain, which improves memory, emotional regulation, and focus. Mindfulness doesn't always require sitting in silence. It can also involve walking without distractions, doing chores attentively, or working out without headphones. Practicing mindfulness. To begin incorporating stillness into your life. 1. Start small. Dedicate 10 minutes daily to meditation or a mindful activity. 2. Engage fully in tasks. For example, when washing dishes, focus on the sensations of water and soap, the weight of each dish, and the sounds around you. 3. Remove unnecessary distractions. Try exercising without music or completing tasks without multitasking. By embracing stillness, you allow yourself to reconnect with your thoughts and emotions, creating a more stable mental foundation. The author shares their experience of exercising without headphones, particularly during runs. Initially, this shift felt uncomfortable, but over time, it transformed into a meditative practice that deepened their connection with their body and mind. The journey to overcoming brain rot continues with 2 critical steps: curating your digital environment to align with your goals and engaging in meaningful, challenging conversations that promote emotional intelligence and critical thinking. Algorithm Detox. Social media platforms are designed to keep users engaged by curating content based on their preferences and habits. While this feature often feeds unproductive behaviors, it can also be harnessed to support personal growth and focus. By intentionally reshaping the content your algorithm presents, you can transform your digital experience into a tool for self-improvement. Curating your feed. To detox your algorithm and align it with your growth goals. 1. Identify content that challenges you. Focus on categories like philosophy, psychology, history, or self-improvement, topics that require active engagement and critical thinking. 2. Engage purposefully, like, comment on, and watch long-form content to signal interest to the algorithm. Consistency will help it adapt to your preferences. 3. Seek growth-oriented creators. Explore profiles that share actionable advice or thought-provoking ideas. Follow and interact with their posts to encourage similar content in your feed. For short-form platforms like TikTok or Instagram, look for creators with content aimed at reducing mindless scrolling. By watching and engaging with their videos, you can subtly shift the nature of your feed to serve as a reminder to stay present and intentional. Reprogramming habits. The brain thrives on patterns. If you repeatedly engage with content that stimulates critical thinking and learning, these habits will become ingrained over time. As this becomes part of your identity, engaging with meaningful content will feel more natural than mindless scrolling. Engaging in open-minded conversations. Challenging, open-minded discussions are one of the most effective ways to nurture the brain's higher-level processing capabilities, particularly in the prefrontal cortex. This critical region of the brain governs essential functions such as critical thinking, emotional regulation, problem-solving, and decision-making. When we actively participate in meaningful dialogues, we engage these cognitive processes, enhancing our ability to think deeply, manage emotions, and approach situations with greater clarity and balance. Conversations that challenge us intellectually and emotionally do more than just stimulate thought. They foster emotional intelligence. They require us to process and articulate our emotions, consider multiple perspectives, and refine our understanding of complex topics. This practice helps reduce emotional reactivity and builds a foundation for more thoughtful responses, both in conversations and in life's unpredictable moments. The connection between conversation and brain function. The brain's ability to regulate emotions and maintain focus is directly tied to the relationship between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. The amygdala, responsible for emotional processing and threat detection, often dominates when we are overwhelmed or reactive. This can lead to impulsive decisions, heightened stress, and an inability to think critically. Open-minded conversations act as a workout for the prefrontal cortex. By engaging in discussions that require reflection, empathy, and critical thinking, we reinforce the neural pathways that connect the prefrontal cortex to the amygdala. This stronger connection allows the brain to moderate emotional responses more effectively, creating a buffer between our immediate reactions and our considered actions. The benefits of intellectual and emotional engagement. Participating in meaningful discussions offers numerous cognitive and emotional benefits. 1. Enhanced emotional regulation. Regularly engaging in dialogue trains the brain to manage strong emotions more effectively. This is particularly important when discussing topics that may provoke disagreement or challenge personal beliefs. 2. Improved perspective taking. Listening to and considering viewpoints different from our own broadens our understanding and fosters empathy. This skill is invaluable in both personal and professional relationships. 3. Strengthened critical thinking skills. By analyzing arguments, questioning assumptions, and articulating ideas, we develop a sharper and more disciplined approach to problem solving. 4. Reduced reactivity. Meaningful conversations encourage us to pause and reflect before responding, helping us break the cycle of impulsive reactions that are often reinforced by overstimulation in other areas of life. Why conversations matter. At the heart of brain rot lies the overactivation of the amygdala, the brain region responsible for processing threats and emotional responses. When overwhelmed by the constant influx of stimulating content, the amygdala's reactionary tendencies dominate, weakening the brain's ability to regulate emotions and think critically. Meaningful discussions, however, engage the prefrontal cortex. This area acts as a mediator, helping to interpret and moderate the amygdala's responses. Regularly participating in thoughtful conversations can rebuild the communication pathways between these brain regions, fostering better emotional control and mental clarity. Building stronger neural pathways. Here's how you can incorporate open-minded conversations into your routine. 1. Seek diverse perspectives. Surround yourself with people who challenge your beliefs and encourage you to think critically. 2. Participate in structured discussions. Join book clubs, debate groups, or communities focused on topics like philosophy, psychology, or self-improvement. 3. Be present in everyday interactions. Make an effort to listen actively and express your thoughts clearly in daily conversations. These practices not only sharpen your cognitive abilities but also improve your social and emotional intelligence. The author's example. The author highlights their experience in a self-mastery community where weekly video calls center on discussions about self-improvement, philosophy, and psychology. These sessions require participants to reflect deeply on their unique perspectives and engage with others' viewpoints. This type of interaction not only enhances understanding but also builds resilience against brain rot by reinforcing habits of thoughtful communication and emotional regulation. Bonus tip: practicing self-compassion. Even with all the strategies outlined above, it's important to remember that progress isn't linear. Everyone experiences moments of relapse, and being too hard on yourself for slipping into old habits can perpetuate the cycle of escapism. Instead, approach these moments with compassion. Acknowledge your emotions, recognize the triggers, and use them as opportunities to grow rather than sources of guilt. Healing from within. Dr. Gabor Mate, a renowned physician, offers valuable insight into the nature of trauma. Trauma is not what happens to you. It's what happens inside you as a result of what happens to you. This perspective emphasizes that healing is always possible. By addressing the wounds and patterns driving escapist behaviors, You can gradually shift your identity toward someone who actively engages with life rather than passively consuming it. Overcoming brain rot requires a multifaceted approach. Developing awareness of escapism, pursuing cognitively challenging activities, embracing stillness, curating your digital environment, and engaging in meaningful connections. When you commit to these changes, you'll discover that the need for mindless consumption diminishes naturally. While occasional lapses are inevitable, the long-term benefits of a more present, intentional life far outweigh the fleeting comfort of escapism. Your journey starts now. Step away from the screen and engage with the world around you.